Hey, what's up, traders? I hope you all have a great 3-day weekend. 4th of July is Sunday, the holiday market closed on Monday. It's Saturday morning. I'm just knocking out the video now so I don't have to, I can take a break from stocks in my brain until Tuesday morning when the market opens, right? So the SPY, starting off with that, the daily, just breaking out to new all-time highs. Not a lot of volume. It's kind of a slow melt up. Feel bad for anybody trying to short this market, though. Let's talk about a couple highlights from Friday's amazing day before we get into the watch list. So I just wrote down a couple highlights. Let me try that again. MRIN. So MRIN, after this crazy move, ended up gapping up. But the call, in this case, I'm going to have to add pre-market on here. And this is a great reason to show up during pre-market. Get to work on time, as Wayne likes to say, right? So I'm showing you 5-minute candles here. MRIN, the pre-market high was above 18. It was, 1840, something like that. But it came up and hit 18, pulled back a little bit. Wayne called this long through 18 in pre-market with catalysts above, right? Potential catalysts, I should always say, one here and one here. And look what happens. It ends up just ripping, then the market opens and it rips some more. So from Wayne's 18 call, I want to say probably within an hour or hour and a half, MRIN hits 2560. Amazing pre-market call there. And then SQBG, let me get pre-market off here now. Threw this on a chart because it was strong early, right? So I had this big move, and then it pulled back. And I called it Tokyo, wait for it, right there. Now I got filled at 12 even, just barely below the high, right? But some of you may have seen, the only reason I saw this was because Kevin P posted it, and he probably posted it when it was 11:50. It happened pretty quick. So I gave the official Tokyo call and got filled at 12 after my call, but still never looked back and went insane. It went to 25. So it more than doubled in a couple hours from the call. But again, I'm the one that put the alert in the room as far as a trade idea, right? But I would have never seen it if it wasn't for Kevin P posting SQBG getting volume or something along those lines, right? And so I suspect several members were actually able to get in that on Kevin's great post before it even got to 12. But anyway, what a monster move. So there are a couple highlights from Friday. The chat room teamwork is as good as ever. What are we watching for Monday? BLIN really extended. This is one of those, by the way, which just kept holding up. What I wanted to show you was, and this, I talk about this all the time, when you have something where, it's strong during the day and holds up pretty well, a couple times look like, okay, it's finally rolling over, and next thing you know, it's flirting with the highs and we're getting close to the closing bell. These are ones to watch for a move in after hours also, right? So look, it ends up going out somewhere. Yeah, it ends up going out right at the high of day. So if you can figure out, you could have maybe done a second mouse through 850 in anticipation of an after hours move. And I talk about this all the time. And after hours, it went up over $10, by the way. I didn't do it because I was starting my weekend, but it's another great example of one that closes strong. A lot of times now, you get a nice move in after hours also. So it could be worth buying into the close, but I would remind you that they also have the option of bad news coming out right at the closing bell. We've seen offering news come out right at the closing bell and something tanks. So, but it could have been worth a shot. Anyway, it's really extended, but we're going to keep our eyes on it because it was so darn strong on Friday. DNUT, which is Krispy Kreme. They've only been trading 2 days, but you had the big day, then you kind of have a quiet inside day, red day. So I'm looking for a third day play there. SQBG, I just talked about this one. Look how far off its highs it closed. But anytime a stock moves from, wait for it here, a low of 872 to a high of 2525, if you're a day trader and you don't have this one on your screens for the next week or two, you're doing it wrong. So we're going to watch it, right? AUUD is just holding up really well. It's kind of interesting because on Friday, it topped out in the opening 5 minutes, right? It topped out at 779, came back up and hit 775 late in the afternoon. So while I look at the daily and I think, well, it's extended and there's really no clean setup here on the chart. Again, I'm a day trader and I would argue that possibly a break of 779 on Tuesday could be a little bit relevant, right? Because it hit it and it never broke it, but came close on Friday. Anyway, so suffice it to say, I could summarize it. Hey, here's another real strong one. Let's keep it on watch, right? XYF, another red day. Had a huge move though from just starting in early June. Basically moved from 5 to almost 18, and now you're 4 days in a row down on declining volume, sitting kind of right in the middle of that buy zone we talk about. It's also taken out the retest of this high in the middle of June, I guess. So it's an interesting spot for a potential turn back up. Had it on bounce watch for Friday, but never gave an A+ setup, so no trade in it. This is a little bit of a different kind of a play, but it's CVM. And I want to say, 5 sessions ago, this was 27.28, and now it's trading closed at 8.05. I'm looking for, you can call it dead cat bounce, call it whatever you want, but I'm looking for an oversold bounce. If I switch to 15-minute candles, you'll notice it never broke its early. This was the crash day, right? Then the next day, there's these vertical lines here are the opening, right? So it put in its high basically in the opening 15 minutes. Same thing. This was the day after the crash. Next day, same thing. Next day, same thing in the opening 30 minutes and never broke it. And Friday, same thing, never broke its early high. So I'm looking for a break of its early high in the afternoon. Like if this would have curled up and broken this high on Friday with 15 minutes left or something, I would have been in that, maybe with size. Again, it's not a bullish chart, but we are looking for a short covering bounce once this thing starts to show a bit of a bounce. So anyway, as a day trader, it's worth having on watch. BBBY, I'm not in love with this one, but it had a huge move back here early June. A decent secondary move a few days later, and then 3 days ago put in another move that topped out at 39.30, and then right back down for a couple days, declining volume, back down to the 8 days. So I don't love this chart, but I think they had earnings this day. So now after earnings day, you got a couple days lower. It could be ready to turn back up. Remember, I'm a day trader. I'm looking for intraday trades. I'm in cash every night. BSQR. I don't love this one either because you had this massive volume day. Now you've got 3 days lower on lower volume. I like that aspect of it, but what I don't like is everybody from the big day is underwater, pre-market trading notwithstanding, right? So I prefer these pullbacks to kind of stay maybe in the upper half of the range of the big day, right? And you don't have that here, but at the same time, go to our 15-minute candle trick again. There's the big day. Then the next day, never broke its early high. The next day, put in its high in the opening 30 minutes, and the same thing goes for Friday. So if Tuesday, sorry, market opens on Tuesday. If Tuesday we get an afternoon breakout, I'll give it a shot. But again, for the reasons I just gave, I don't love this one. EFOI. Pretty nice spike on Friday, but closing well off its highs. Here's the intraday action. I actually did take a trade right in here, as I mentioned in chat, and had a pretty nice bounce there. But it ended up closing kind of weak. And again, it's well off of its highs. So just because it's got good support, though, from the last 3 weeks, and it made an attempt on Friday, I say we keep that one on watch on Monday. OPTT. Nice little breakout on volume on Friday, but another one closing well off its highs. 328 was the high, closed below 3, but we might get a continuation pattern on an intraday basis for a trade. And then lastly, ASTR, nice volume, pretty strong move, but also closing well off its highs. So there's plenty to watch, and we'll find some gappers on Tuesday morning. I expect lighter volume because it's a holiday week, but I also expect some really nice trades. I mean, we talked about lighter volume on Friday, and our SQBG ends up doubling on an intraday basis. So trades can come out of nowhere. We say that all the time. So I'm going to show up Tuesday morning, ready to find one. All right, ready to find several, hopefully. All right, anyway, I'm done babbling. Enjoy your 4th of July weekend, and we'll see everybody on Tuesday.